dinosaurs, coloring, and a train set. Gazing. The golden rule. Or as I like to say, Descartes. And that is good, because there is a monster at the end of this book. Gazing. $16.95, now for you, $1, $3.
It covers recent events.
What they do? I have a really great library. Did you need proof? It's I already have it. Human. Peter. Brother. Using your slip mail, standing Israel interviewing. Some of it's just absolute crap. Hey everybody, I actually cleaned off my desk. It's been about 6 years since I've had the whole thing cleared off, though if you went to the other camera over here, you wouldn't know that because you can see that there's still a bunch of stuff on here. Though the reason for this video is that I have this stack of books, here it is. I don't like being that untidy. But the point is, I have a really great library that I never share with anybody, and I'm greedy so I don't loan anything out. Much. I have a couple of times. So if you look, like, up here on this top shelf, I've got a couple of really great bookends that I'm pretty sure I inherited from my dad. He didn't need them anymore, and there are a couple of sort of bronze thinker statues that hold my mythology together. And as you go down, there's stuff about religion, there's stuff about philosophy. I've got some Egyptian history on a shelf down there. If you look at another shelf, it's all sort of reference material and self-improvement. It's stuff about quotes and how to read body language and how to improve your vocabulary. And then there's another shelf that's just like all political jargon and some historical bits. And then I have a whole shelf dedicated to sociology, because that was my major. Did you need proof? That one? That's my sociology degree. I've got a shelf dedicated to politics and political science. And then I have this annoying stack that I need to take out and sort of integrate into the rest of my collection, because I'm very proud of my library. Without further ado, here's the bottom of the stack. This National Geographic book here, Our Country's Presidents. Whoa. It's got a full page color thing here. I love pictures and full details about the presidents. I actually got it because years ago I bought these flashcards. But if we open them up like this, you flip them over and it's got little factoids. Next in the stack, this nifty copy of To Kill a Mockingbird, which it's one of the older copies, not an original of course, but still I like the way they smell. More importantly though, I got this book. I don't know who in that lady's family had... It's all wrinkled. Okay. I don't know who in this lady's family was taking a sociology course. This does appear to be a textbook. It's called The Color of Justice. It's got some neat stories in it about ethnicity and how that affects your status in America. I thought it might go well with something like this. This is really the only other book I have on race. The Ethnic Factor, How America's Minorities Decide Elections. And that's really a political book. It's not a sociology book, so there was a gap in my collection. Next! Why Darwin Matters by Michael Schirmer. Every time I came across it, I just kept thinking, I have a lot of stuff about Darwin that I haven't read yet, but this was half off. It looked like a really easy to understand book, which is in total contrast to this book that I already have on the shelf, Reviews of Creationist Books written by scientists, and it's wordy, damn it. And that should go along with another book I've got in my collection, Living with Darwin by Philip Kitcher. The Hunting Apes, I highly recommend this. Meat Eating and the Origins of Human Behavior. I did not know that chimpanzees stab stuff and then eat it raw, probably because they don't know how to play with fire. And then I've got another book, see this is an interest of mine, Human, the Science Behind What Makes Us Unique, whose name is Michael S. Gazanig. If you're planning on saying the name, make sure you cover it in rehearsal. How to Become CEO, the rules for rising to the top of any organization. I think I got this for $1. Originally priced $17, $16.95. Now for you, $1. I love getting a good deal. I don't know how useful this is going to be. It's quite short and in large double-spaced print. But it kind of goes along with this old book that I stole off my grandfather's shelf when he passed away, The Success System That Never Fails. It's an old book with a guy who looks really serious. I think I have that bow tie. It kind of goes hand in hand with another book I've got down here. This is Career Test, 25 Revealing Self-Tests to help you find and succeed at the perfect career. I took one of these when I was 8. It didn't help then, mostly because my interests were dinosaurs, coloring, and a train set. Not changed much, but had no idea about a career path at the time. Do you like being outside, Billy? Yeah. I got a couple of golden books here. The monster, actually it's another monster at the end of this book. And you can see, not only does it have lovable Grover, it's got Elmo, everybody's new favorite. I don't like him as much as Grover. Cute, but no. But I think I'm just a stickler for the classic, and this is why we got it. Because I like to read the monster at the end of this book, a book I knew from when I was a kid, and I still sometimes read aloud to others, whether it's my daughter or my nephews or somebody like that. See, the whole point is that Grover asks you not to turn pages, and he gets really bent out of shape about it.
Shh! Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. And that is good, because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please, do not turn the page.
And then, of course, you turn the page.
You turn the page! Being Grover hurts my throat.
So, yeah, there's another monster at the end of this book with Elmo. My wife got me this because I like to collect golden books. Where do kisses come from? Adorable. The idea of getting kisses from a hippo kind of scares me, but, you know, the hippo's not kissing me, it's kissing baby hippo, so that's cute. Okay, this one's in the stack, but I think it's only there because I've been trying to read it for a very long time. The Vanishing Adolescent. Yes! Moral Minority by Brooke Allen, Our Skeptical Founding Fathers. There's been a lot of talk of late about how America was founded by Christian peoples. Well, maybe not if you're talking about the Founding Fathers. A lot of citizens were Christians, not necessarily these guys. And this coincides with a much thicker book, because you see Moral Minority is kind of thin. I bought this one after hearing an interview with him. This guy, Forrest Church, if I remember correctly, actually presided over his own church, so he is a man of the cloth, was a man of the cloth. He passed away a couple of years ago. So help me God goes into full detail about those who wrote the Constitution and had a hand in founding this country. It kind of goes hand in hand with a couple other cheap paperbacks that I got. Pilgrims in Their Own Land, 500 Years of Religion in America. I like studying world religions, don't know a whole lot about don't know a whole lot about the specific developments of American religiosity. So I thought that one would be fun. And then there's this one. Looks very impressive and foreboding. God on Trial by Peter Irons. Yeah, it sounds scary. It actually covers several interesting landmark court cases involving separation of church and state. And there's actually a more recent purchase that has to do with that collection of books. The Godless Constitution, A Moral Defense of the Secular State. Easy to read. I like reference material. I don't know what I'm getting ready to study for. What am I doing with this stack of books right here that have to do with religion in America? I'm going to become some kind of weird lobbyist. Belong to a think tank. Do you have to have a master's degree for a think tank? Okay, next one. Written by a local yokel. Not really that local. He's from Chicago. 3.5 hour ride and a world away. By Ricky Hendon. It's called Backstabbers, The Reality of Politics. It's basically a step-by-step process of how to get elected. I thought it might come in handy because I have a brother who thought about running for an office recently, and people keep encouraging me to do it, though I'm scared to death of the title alone. Backstabbers.
What they do? They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers.
And yet another political book. This one by James Carville and Paul Begala. Take It Back, or Party or Culture or Future. This one was, in all places, an antique store where I got this book for about $2. It features all the complaints that I make about the Democratic Party being kind of spineless and disorganized, and they say as much. Mind you, I like the tenets of the Democratic Party, I just think they're totally unfocused. Okay, so we bought this keychain for like 50 cents, because I don't have a Rubik's Cube. But then I came across a Rubik's Cube manual. These used to come with the actual Rubik's Cube. I don't know if they still do. This one in particular says Ideal Toy Corporation, 1981. Isn't that outrageous? It's got step-by-step instructions on how to solve specific problems with your Rubik's Cube. Because I always end up with this, where I have one side fully done, and then the rest of them look like crap. Okay, yet another book on politics. $3. By one of my favorite guys, Bill Moyers. He has a whole dissertation here on American democracy. Love Bill Moyers. My brother and his wife got me this book, The American Way of War, Guided Missiles, Misguided Men, and a Republic in Peril. And I think it kind of goes along with a lot of the policy books that I've got. Another one in the stack, The Secret Destiny of America. It's actually 2 books in one. It's got some interesting stuff in there. It has a lot to do with the occult, secret societies, and secret symbols and things of that nature. And it's got some fun occult-like pictures here. Because, you know, anything that has to do with the occult has to have, like, something Egyptian in it. I don't know. This was recommended to me by a friend. Amusing Yourselves to Death by Neil Postman. This is the 20th anniversary edition. It's all about how electronic media is changing American society. Kind of goes along with another book I've got called Future Shock. I mean, this book! I had it with me all along. This one I bought because it kind of fills in some gaps in my library. Teach Yourself, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
It covers recent events.
What attracted me most to this was that it has, in the introduction, only got a minute to understand this subject, and then it expands into 5 minutes and then to 10, and then it makes you read the rest of the book. Because if you have more than 10 minutes to read, you apparently have enough time to delve into this book and figure out what's going on. It kind of fills in the gaps between these 2 books. Teach Yourself Politics, The Israel Lobby and U.S. Foreign Policy. I heard an interview with this guy, and I thought, the interview was so good that I'm going to link to it, because the interview is what made me look more into philosophy and eventually buy the book about which the author was being interviewed. It's a really interesting story that not only covers the philosophy of Descartes, or as I like to say, Descartes. And that's totally not how he said it. It's an interesting story because he had a philosophical dilemma which was called the mind-body problem. And later on, his bones were exhumed and he ended up with his own little mind-body problem where his skull became separated from the rest of his body. I discovered that after all these years of picking up books about world religion, that what I was really trying to do probably was learn something about philosophy, which I hated when I was younger. And now that I'm somewhere 30 plus, 33, that's not a bad age. Now that I'm older, I rather enjoy it. Some of it's just absolute crap. But I'm being introduced to it by this really neat book by Ben Dupree. I'm still reading it. 50 philosophy ideas you really need to know. Each subject is covered by a 4-page section. Things like Chapter 19, The Golden Rule. There's some stuff in here about what is the meaning of punishment. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. And then I want to follow that one up with this book, Basic Teachings of the Great Philosophers. So I'm hoping that this one will be a little more in-depth, whereas this one's kind of like a baby introductory for morons like me. It looks like that's the stack. With any luck now, I'll be able to take all this stuff up and put it on a shelf, if I can squeeze them in. How about instead of reading this book here and taking these quizzes, I take your word for it. If there's something that you've noticed about all of the books that I've purchased recently and how they fit into my collection, and you say, hey, that Brandon guy should be working this job, let me know, would you? Send me a message either through my blog in the comments or through the comments on YouTube. Let me know. What job do you think it is I should be working after looking at this book collection? I hope to hear from some of you soon. Let me know what you think. Thanks.